The offering of scraps. Commander Elena Reyes stood silently as the Galactic Confederation representatives filed out of the grand meeting chamber, their multiple appendages moving with practiced grace. She maintained her professional composure until the massive doors sealed shut, then allowed her shoulders to slump slightly. "That went about as well as expected," remarked Admiral Chen, the only other human present. Elena nodded, her dark eyes fixed on the holographic display still hovering in the center of the room. It showed a derelict spaceship, if it could even be called that anymore. More accurately, it resembled a floating scrapyard. "The Confederation's generous contribution to Earth's recovery efforts," Elena said, unable to keep the bitterness from her voice. They might as well have spat in our faces. 3 years had passed since the cataclysm, the devastating combination of natural disasters and technological failures that had nearly wiped out human civilization. Earth's atmosphere remained barely breathable in many regions, its oceans acidified, and its once thriving cities reduced to ruins. When humanity had finally managed to reestablish contact with the Galactic Confederation, they had pleaded for assistance. This broken-down ship was the Confederation's answer. The CSS Thresher, Admiral Chen read from his datapad. Decommissioned cargo hauler, over 80 years old. Most major systems removed before decommissioning. Elena stepped closer to the hologram, studying the ship's outline. Even through the damage and missing sections, she could see that it had once been impressive, at least a kilometer long, with what appeared to be cargo bays large enough to hold small cities. "They expect us to fail," Elena said quietly. "They want us to try to repair this junk pile, and when we fail, they'll have the perfect excuse to deny us full membership." The Admiral's eyes narrowed. "And what do you intend to do about it, Commander?" Elena Reyes had not become the youngest commander in Earth's Space Corps by accepting defeat. Before the cataclysm, she had led the most successful salvage and repair team in the solar system, known for turning derelicts into functioning vessels when everyone else declared them beyond saving. "I intend to show them exactly what humans can do with scraps, sir." 3 weeks later, Elena stood in a makeshift control center on Luna Base, Earth's moon colony that had survived the cataclysm relatively intact. Around her, 30 of Earth's best engineers, programmers, and innovators waited expectantly. "This is the CSS Thresher," she said, activating the hologram. Murmurs and a few derisive snorts echoed through the room. Or, as the Confederation calls it, a gesture of goodwill. She zoomed in on different sections of the ship, highlighting the extensive damage. "They've stripped it of weapons systems, shield generators, most of its navigation equipment, and about 60% of its engine components." "With all due respect, Commander," said Dr. Ayako Tanaka, Earth's leading propulsion expert, "why are we wasting time on this? We should be focusing on rebuilding our orbital platforms." Elena nodded respectfully. "Because, Doctor, this ship, or what's left of it, is our ticket to full Confederation membership, and without that membership, Earth will never get the atmospheric scrubbers and terraforming technology we need." She straightened her shoulders. "The Confederation gave us this wreck, expecting us to fail. They see us as primitive, desperate creatures begging for scraps from their table. And maybe we are desperate, but primitive. I don't think so." She tapped her console, and the image shifted to show Earth before the cataclysm, its cities gleaming, its ships exploring the solar system. "We built all of this without any help from the Confederation. We developed technologies they still don't fully understand." Dr. Malik Ndoye, a quantum physicist who had revolutionized Earth's energy systems before the disaster, leaned forward. "What exactly are you proposing, Commander?" "I'm proposing we take this piece of junk and turn it into something they've never seen before, something uniquely human." Elena's eyes gleamed with determination. "We won't just repair it, we'll transform it." Over the following months, the CSS Thresher was towed into Earth orbit, where work began in earnest. Elena had secured permission to use the remaining resources of Luna Base and Earth's orbital stations, Every available engineer and technician worked in shifts around the clock. Dr. Tanaka led the team rebuilding the propulsion systems, integrating Earth's experimental fusion drives that the Confederation had always dismissed as inefficient. Dr. Ndoye implemented quantum field stabilizers that would allow the ship to manipulate gravitational forces in ways the Confederation's ships couldn't match. Former gaming programmer Rajiv Singh developed an AI navigation system that could process spatial data faster than any Confederation computer. Nanotechnology expert Dr. Maria Gonzalez created self-repairing hull plating that could adapt to different types of damage. 6 months into the project, Alina received a concerned message from the Confederation Oversight Committee. Commander Reyes said, the blue-skinned Athraxian representative, our monitors indicate unusual activity around the vessel we provided. Please be reminded that as a probationary member species, any modifications to Confederation technology must receive prior approval. Alina smiled pleasantly. We're simply conducting repairs as allowed under Section 12 of the probationary agreement. Nothing to be concerned about. The representative's 4 eyes blinked simultaneously. Our scans indicate energy signatures inconsistent with standard repair procedures. Earth's repair procedures may differ from what you're accustomed to. Alina replied smoothly. We're working with limited resources and must be creative. After the communication ended, Admiral Chen looked at her with concern. They're getting suspicious. Good, Alina said. That means we're making progress. 9 months after the project began, Alina stood on what would be the bridge of the transformed vessel. The exterior still looked largely like the original Thresher, deliberately so. Alina had ordered the teams to maintain the appearance of a barely functional, patched-together ship. But inside, nothing remained of the original vessel except its basic structure. Ready for the first systems test, Commander, announced Chief Engineer Torres. Alina nodded, feeling the weight of Earth's future on her shoulders. If this failed, they would have wasted precious resources they couldn't afford to lose. Initiate primary power. The ship hummed to life around them. Lights flickered on, consoles activated, and the newly installed gravity generators created a perfect Earth-standard environment. On the main view screen, diagnostic data scrolled rapidly, showing green status indicators across nearly all systems. Power flow at 87% efficiency, reported Torres with undisguised pride. That's better than our most optimistic projections. Dr. Tanaka monitored the propulsion readouts with growing excitement. The fusion drive is stable. We can achieve faster-than-light travel with approximately 40% less energy expenditure than Confederation standard drives. One by one, each system came online, each performing beyond expectations. The unique combination of Confederation structural technology and human ingenuity had created something entirely new. Weapons status, Alina asked quietly. Torres hesitated. That's complicated, Commander. Technically, we don't have any weapons. Alina raised an eyebrow. We have mining lasers capable of cutting through asteroid material, Torres explained with a slight smile. We have gravitational stabilizers that can, hypothetically, disrupt the structural integrity of another ship. We have emergency plasma vents that, if directed properly, could disable electronic systems. So we have no weapons, Alina said, returning the smile. Excellent. The Confederation prohibits probationary members from having armed vessels. Admiral Chen, who had arrived for the test, looked around the bridge with growing satisfaction. What are you going to name her? Alina had been considering this question for months. The name needed to reflect what this ship represented for humanity, a symbol of their ability to rise from destruction, to create something meaningful from wreckage. Phoenix, she said finally. We'll call her the CSS Phoenix. The Admiral nodded approvingly. Rising from the ashes. Appropriate. 3 weeks later, the newly christened Phoenix departed Earth orbit on its maiden voyage. To the Confederation observers, it appeared to limp away, its patched hull and uneven thruster burns suggesting a barely functional vessel. But inside, The crew knew differently. As they passed the orbit of Mars, Alina gave the order they had all been waiting for. "Take us to full power, Mr. Singh. Let's see what she can really do." The Phoenix leaped forward with acceleration that would have been impossible for a Confederation vessel of twice its size. The stars blurred around them as they achieved faster-than-light travel with effortless grace. Alina watched her crew's faces light up with pride and knew that the real test was just beginning. Soon, the galaxy would learn what humans could do with scraps. Rising from the ashes, the CSS Phoenix completed its first official mission, delivering agricultural supplies to a Confederation outpost, with such efficiency that the station manager actually checked his records twice, unable to believe the ship had arrived 3 days ahead of schedule. A fortunate stellar wind pattern, Alina had explained with practiced humility when questioned. For 3 months, the Phoenix performed similar mundane tasks, each time slightly exceeding expectations, but never enough to draw serious attention. Alina was playing the careful game, demonstrating reliability while concealing the ship's true capabilities. During their 4th month of operation, while transporting medical supplies to the border colonies, the Phoenix's sensors detected an emergency beacon. "Confederation merchant vessel," reported Communications Officer Diaz. "They're under attack by raiders." Alina straightened in her command chair. "Distance: 20 minutes at standard speed," Singh replied from the navigation console. "Any other Confederation vessels in range?" Diaz checked her screen. "Negative, Commander. Nearest patrol is over 3 hours away." The bridge fell silent. Everyone knew the stakes. As a probationary membership, the Phoenix was explicitly forbidden from engaging in combat operations. Responding to this distress call could jeopardize Earth's standing with the Confederation. Not responding would mean abandoning innocent lives. "Plot an intercept course, maximum acceptable speed," Alina ordered. "Alert medical to prepare for possible casualties." The Phoenix accelerated, still maintaining the appearance of a struggling vessel, arriving at the coordinates to find a merchant ship surrounded by 3 sleek raider vessels. Even as they watched, the raiders fired again, breaching the merchant ship's hull. "Open a channel," Alina commanded. When the connection established, a reptilian face appeared on screen, eyes widening slightly at the sight of a human. "This is Commander Alina Reyes of the CSS Phoenix. Cease your attack immediately and withdraw." The raider captain hissed, displaying rows of sharp teeth. "A human ship. The Confederation sends its pets now." He laughed, a harsh sound that grated through the speakers. "Leave now, creature. This is none of your concern." "We're responding to a distress call," Alina replied calmly. "I won't ask again." The raider captain snarled and cut the transmission. Moments later, one of the raider ships broke off from the merchant vessel and turned toward the Phoenix. "They're powering weapons," reported Torres from the tactical station. Alina nodded. "Initiate Defense Protocol Alpha. Let's show them what this pet can do." As the raider ship approached, the Phoenix appeared to drift, systems flickering as if experiencing power failures. The raider closed in, weapons charged, and found itself suddenly caught in a quantum field that disrupted its propulsion systems. "Gravitational stabilizers functioning perfectly," Dr. Ndoye announced with satisfaction. "Target their weapons systems with mining laser 3, Alina ordered. A beam of concentrated energy, far more powerful than any actual mining tool, lanced out from the Phoenix, slicing through the raider ship's weapons array with surgical precision. The remaining 2 raider vessels turned from the merchant ship, now focusing their attention on this unexpected threat. They approached in formation, clearly intending to flank the Phoenix. "They're coordinating their attack," Torres warned. "Deploy plasma vents, wide dispersal," Alina commanded. The Phoenix released a controlled burst of superheated plasma that expanded outward in a sphere. When it reached the approaching raiders, their electronic systems sputtered and failed, leaving them drifting powerless. The entire engagement had lasted less than 5 minutes. "Damage report?" Alina asked. "None, Commander. Torres replied with a grin. They never got off a shot. Elena nodded. Open a channel to the merchant vessel. The merchant captain's astonished face appeared on screen, all four of his eyes blinking rapidly. You saved us. But how? Your ship looks like it's barely holding together. Elena smiled. Appearances can be deceiving. Do you require medical assistance? News of the Phoenix's victory spread quickly through Confederation channels. The merchant captain's enthusiastic account of being saved by the miraculous human vessel reached even the highest levels of the Confederation Council. 2 weeks later, the Phoenix received new orders. Patrol duty along a shipping lane that had been plagued by raiders for years. It was a test, Elena knew. The Confederation wanted to see if the incident had been a fluke. It wasn't. Over the next 3 months, the Phoenix neutralized 17 raider attacks without sustaining significant damage. Each time, they used their non-weapons with increasing skill and precision. Each time, the reputation of the human crew grew. Trade ships began to request the Phoenix as their escort. Station managers welcomed them warmly. Other species started to look at humans with curiosity rather than pity or disdain. The Confederation Council, however, was divided. Some members argued that the humans had violated the terms of their probationary status by creating an armed vessel. Others pointed out that, technically, the Phoenix carried no recognized weapon systems. The debate raged for weeks. Meanwhile, the Phoenix continued its missions, gradually revealing more of its capabilities as circumstances required. When a space station's reactor threatened to go critical, the Phoenix used its quantum field stabilizers to contain the reaction. When a colony world faced an extinction-level asteroid impact, the Phoenix's mining lasers reduced the threat to harmless debris. 6 months after their first engagement with the raiders, the Phoenix received an urgent transmission from Confederation Command. Commander Reyes, the Admiral's hologram flickered with static. A Draxian battle fleet has crossed the neutral zone. They've already destroyed 2 patrol vessels and are heading toward Outpost Sigma 7. You're the only ship within range. Elena's blood ran cold. The Draxians were not simple raiders, but a highly advanced warrior species that had maintained an uneasy peace with the Confederation for decades. Their ships were among the most powerful in the known galaxy. How many vessels? She asked. 5 warships, Commander. I must emphasize that you are not ordered to engage. Your mission is to evacuate as many personnel from the outpost as possible before the Draxians arrive. Elena exchanged glances with her senior officers. They all understood what was being left unsaid. The outpost housed over 2,000 civilians who couldn't possibly be evacuated in time. Understood. Admiral. Phoenix out. When the transmission ended, the bridge remained silent for a long moment. Plot a course to Outpost Sigma 7, maximum speed, Elena finally ordered. And sound battle stations. As the Phoenix raced toward the outpost, Elena gathered her senior staff to develop a strategy. The Draxian warships outgunned them by every conventional measure. Direct confrontation would be suicide. We need to use their assumptions against them, Elena said, just like we've done from the beginning. When the Phoenix arrived at the outpost, the Draxian fleet was already in position, preparing to attack. Elena ordered the ship to approach openly, broadcasting on all frequencies. Attention Draxian fleet. This is Commander Elena Reyes of the Earth vessel Phoenix. The outpost is under Confederation protection. Withdraw immediately. The Draxian commander's face appeared on screen, mandibles clicking in what Elena recognized as amusement. A single ship, and a human one at that. The Confederation insults us by sending such a pathetic defender. Perhaps, Elena replied calmly, or perhaps you should reconsider what you think you know about human ships. She cut the transmission and nodded to Singh. Execute.